A well-known hip-hop executive has turned himself into federal authorities overnight. He's accused of running a dangerous criminal enterprise. His name, Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U. He helped launch the career of Nipsey Hussle. Well, he's now been charged with extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and murder.
During this investigation, federal officials say they received or recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. Prosecutors allege Henley ran an enterprise like a mob boss and defrauded companies, the government, and even celebrities in the process.
I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about I'm a fugitive.
Music executive Eugene Henley, or Big U, taking to Instagram moments before turning himself in and just hours after federal authorities declared him a fugitive Wednesday.
They just raided all my houses.
Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization.
Investigators claim Henley painted himself as a hip-hop legend and a Los Angeles community activist, but is actually, according to authorities, the leader of a South LA gang who ran an alleged criminal enterprise.
The facts alleged in the complaint is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him.
More than a dozen others that prosecutors say are tied to the criminal case are also in custody. According to the affidavit, Henley is charged with violating the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. Prosecutors allege his organization, Big U Enterprises, was linked with the murder of an aspiring rapper working under Henley's label in 2021. They claim Henley shot and killed the rapper in Las Vegas after the rapper recorded a diss track about Henley. Officials say Henley then dumped his body in a ditch. Officials also claim Henley used his nonprofit organization, Developing Options, which purported to help at-risk youth, to dupe taxpayers, the county of Los Angeles, and NBA players. He allegedly embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of donations and grants by transferring money into his personal bank account.
Y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community.
Henley served 13 years in prison after trying to rob an undercover sheriff's deputy of cocaine back in 1991. He has not yet entered a plea deal to the current charges, but could potentially face life in prison if convicted. We reached out to his attorney and are still waiting for a response.
A well-known.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Night and Day True Crimes. All right, we're going to get into Big U, man. We're going to get into the speculation that he had Nipsey Hussle murdered. We're going to get into the stories, the timeline. I want to get into all that. I want to touch on all that because, you know, it's possible that, you know, with this RICO and all the, you know, they start handing out that time to these folks. People can start talking. You know what I'm saying? People probably already in there talking right now, depending on what they got on each individual. You know what I'm saying? But being as though this is a RICO, they all wrapped up in one and with this thing. So, you know, people gonna start telling. So I wanted to get into some things with this, you know. As a matter of fact, before we get into the timeline with Big U and his, you know, his dealings with Nipsey Hussle over the years, you know, with his brother and that whole thing, and we're gonna get into this press conference of, you know, basically them breaking down the RICO and everyone that was arrested in it. So let's go ahead and get into this. Kind of speed this up a little bit.
Good morning. I'm Joe McNally, the acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive. The Department of Justice's top priority is eliminating violent crime caused by criminal street gangs and organized crime. These organizations cause a tremendous amount of harm in our communities, And today's arrests are part of our office's efforts, FBI, IRS, LAPD, the team you see up here, to make our community safer and rid our streets of these criminal street gangs, including ones operated by violent felons like Mr. Henley, who are posing as savvy businessmen and community leaders, but in the end are violent criminals. The affidavit filed with criminal complaint alleges that Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization that utilized Mr. Henley's stature and long-standing association with the Crips criminal street gang and other gangs here in Los Angeles to intimidate businesses and individuals in our communities. I want to stress that the allegations here in the complaint are allegations only, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Let me talk a little bit about Mr. Henley and the street gang here. As I said, Mr. Henley is a widely known leader within the rolling 60s. He rose to prominence in that gang decades ago, and he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts, all things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at youth risk escape gang life and escape the perils of gangs in high crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him. For example, Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway. He then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan. On that application, Mr. Henley falsely stated that his music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front. He used it to conceal his fraudulent activities, his criminal enterprises activities, and evade detection from law enforcement. If convicted on the racketeering conspiracy, he and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal prison sentence. I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners who brought about the result here today. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Gang Task Force from the FBI. It's comprised of FBI agents, LAPD officers, IRS Criminal Investigation, U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's Office, Los Angeles Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department. This case is a great example of state and federal law enforcement working together to address harm from a criminal enterprise. I also want to thank our prosecutors, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Butler and Jenna McCabe, for their diligence and dogged determination in this case. With that, I'll turn it over to our next speaker, FBI Special Agent in Charge, Ted Dox.
Thank you, Joe. My name is Ted Dox, Special Agent in Charge of FBI Los Angeles' Criminal Division. These operations are truly a team effort, and I would like to recognize those partnerships. If not for their commitment, dedication, and follow-through, we would not be here today. First, I'd like to thank LAPD, IRS Criminal Investigations, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for working collaboratively for the past 4 years. In this case, with FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on violent gangs. I also like to thank the U.S. Marshal Service for their assistance today, and many departments in California, Arizona, Nevada, and the North Las Vegas Police Department. Now, this morning, hundreds of agents and officers, including multiple SWAT teams, executed multiple arrest warrants for many of the 19 defendants charged in this case. Search warrants were executed at 6 locations. Those searches continue to be underway. 4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. And while we're still seeking the whereabouts of 5 individuals, 3 of whom we believe we will have in custody shortly, 2 defendants are considered fugitives. They are Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia. We will provide their photographs to the media following this announcement. Anyone with information as to their whereabouts should not take action on their own, but contact the FBI. You can reach us by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. During this investigation, we recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. The Rolling 16 Crips have been around for decades, and by some estimates, are among the largest gangs in the country, with factions in multiple states. Mr. Henley has been a known member of the Rolling 16 Crips since the 1980s, where he established his reputation and earned standing with fellow gang members. He has been able to use that standing to intimidate businesses and individuals and to commit various forms of violence, including the alleged murder outlined by the U.S. Attorney. He's also been able to influence others to give him money, only to defraud his victims, including defrauding the U.S., the government, the city of Los Angeles, and you, the taxpayer. Before I close, I'd like to ask that anyone who has information about the alleged criminal activity or feel that they have been victimized by any of the defendants, call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We've targeted this gang in the past and will continue to target gangs who see violence and fear in our communities. FBI will never waver on our commitment to combat violent gangs and those individuals affiliated who prey on others. Today's arrests make neighborhoods across our city safer. Thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to IRS SAC Tyler Hatcher.
Good morning. Again, I'm Tyler Hatcher. I'm the special agent in charge of IRS criminal investigation here in Los Angeles. Today's arrests are the result of outstanding investigative work by law enforcement partners from LAPD, U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and my office, who's worked tirelessly to find the evidence necessary to charge those who are alleged to bring harm to our communities, as you've heard previously. The RICO charges against Mr. Henley and his associates reflect a pattern of crimes that runs a gambit from extortion to robbery to murder to tax fraud and to human trafficking, all under the umbrella of a well-organized criminal organization led by Mr. Henley. Additionally, Mr. Henley duped the county of Los Angeles by running a nonprofit named Developing Options, which was set up to pull youth out of the gang life and promote anti-gang solutions. Yet Mr. Henley continued to personally orchestrate violent gang activity that impact our communities. Donors trust that their donations will be used in a manner that's consistent with what the charity was set up to do and applied as intended. In this case, it was for the benefit of at-risk youth. Financial transactions leave a trail, and IRS criminal investigation special agents are the best at following that trail. The trails led to Mr. Henley's, allegedly lead to Mr. Henley's personal bank account, and the money trail doesn't lie. Organized crime victimizes our Los Angeles communities far too frequently, but the arrests made today demonstrate our commitment to making Los Angeles safer for everyone impacted by these criminal enterprises. IRSCI is proud to partner with our federal and state and local law enforcement partners to make our communities safer and to protect from these violent acts. And on that, I'll turn it over to Chief.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here today. I'll keep my comments brief. From day one, the Los Angeles Police Department's been proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with the FBI and our partners here today in this critical investigation. The invaluable expertise provided by Operation South Bureau FBI Task Force on the Rolling 60s Criminal Street Gang has played a pivotal role in securing these 19 federal indictments laid out this morning. It's a major step forward in our ongoing fight against gang violence and brings hope and relief to a community that for too long has endured far too much. Together, we will continue to protect and serve, working tirelessly to ensure safety in all of our neighborhoods. I'll return the U.S. Attorney, Joe McNally, for any questions follow-up.
Take any questions.
So Henley is still on the loose?
He is.
Do you expect to snag it today, or is it something where he's gone?
Yeah, I think all I can say is that look, he is the leader here, and we're looking for him and trying to find him. He's a fugitive at this point, and we're using resources to try to track him down. The arrests were made this morning, and early this morning.
And that's of the morning. This whole group you have custody.
So there are a number of arrests, I think roughly 10 this morning, and then there are other individuals who were in state custody that are being transferred into federal custody. But approximately 10 arrests were made this morning.
I think you mentioned it earlier, but what kind of penalties or time for the
So a federal racketeering conspiracy complaint that's charged here, 1962D, covers up to 20 years in federal prison. The next stage here would be that Mr. Henley and others would be indicted by a grand jury, and the penalties at that point could range and include higher penalties. So at this point, he's charged in a criminal complaint.
Is he charged with murder too as well?
He's charged in a RICO conspiracy, and part of that RICO conspiracy, one of the predicate acts is the murder that is described in the complaint. He has not yet charged in an indictment with a substance.
You mentioned the taxpayers were defrauded. Can you tell us how much taxpayer dollars he obtained from what city leader or official? And what does this mean for groups that are working on anti-gang efforts and trying to get donations from celebrities or city?
Sure. So I think just to kind of go back, Mr. Henley and the allegations are here, operated a criminal enterprise. He used his status in LA as a gang member. Somebody was known as an enforcer in order to execute the crimes that are described in the criminal complaint. As part of that, and to get to your question, he also had this charity. It held himself out there to be somebody who was committed to reducing gang violence, committed to supporting youth in the city. As part of that, he received grants from government agencies to do that work. And as we describe in the criminal complaint, he used that goodwill to benefit himself. He diverted money from that charity and lined his own pockets with it. And that money was ultimately traced, and then we can show that he used it for personal purposes. So there was an embezzlement angle to this, to the criminal enterprise, where hundreds of thousands of dollars were siphoned off that should have gone to charitable purposes, gang reduction, gang intervention. Instead, he used it for his own purposes, his own criminal enterprise. In addition to that, there was tax loss. And like many of our cases, we ultimately do a financial investigation, and we see that embezzlement, that siphoning happens often. There's a parallel tax conduct that is also described in the complaint. So you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that the charity ultimately siphoned off for his purposes. It was a charity that he controlled, and again, held himself out there to be somebody in our community who, was, as Chief McDonald said, these communities, it's oftentimes our poorest communities that need intervention the most. They need law enforcement the most. He held himself out as somebody who was part of that team trying to improve South Los Angeles. And the facts of the indictment and the wiretap calls that we intercepted as part of the investigation that are described in the complaint, not the indictment, the complaint, describe that contradiction. That on the one hand, he's Mr. Charity, and on the other hand, he's engaging in all this criminal conduct. That's set out in the criminal complaint.
And so it's outlined in the criminal complaint specifically what government agency gave him money.
It's outlined that he got grant money. I believe that money flowed through the city of Los Angeles, but I don't have the specifics in front of me. What I can tell you is that typically, grants flow through the state and then eventually, are typically issued through the city.
And to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Did you say the name of the charity, or are you allowed to say that? Maybe
Yeah, the charity I referenced earlier is developing options.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Last question.
I apologize. Just your reference to find Mr. Henley. Have you had? I mean, do you have any idea about his potential whereabouts, or any more that you can tell us on?
All right, so man, so they said, well, I remember Big U explaining that he had Nipsey locked in a 10-year contract. He actually was on, a podcast and definitely broke down how he had Nipsey locked in a 10-year contract. So I wanted to switch and get into that real quick.
Boom. So I signed Nipsey to Unique Music, to my to Aramis Astrodome, to my label, to Unique Music. And then Steve was 10% management and I was 10% management, because it didn't make no sense for us to go get another manager.
Right.
And so we started pushing on that. So I signed him to it was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Hello. But I ain't tripping off of that, because it is what it is. But I do have that. You know what I mean? So
Wait, so your deal with Nipsey was 10 years?
It was 10 years.
It was a 10
years, 25% of publishing to Aramis Astrodome.
Oh wow. So 09 to 2019.
09 to 2019.
So technically Victory Lap.
Hello.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Help me. Okay. Because when I first.
So that made me think, like, they were saying this nigga was extorting Nipsey Hussle. Like, this nigga had to pay $20,000. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, you see how he perked up when he mentioned the Victory Laps album? And that's what be making niggas think, like, nigga. You know what I mean? Them album sales shoot up when these rappers die. Everybody knows that. Being as though that he was still locked under a contract with this nigga makes you think. You know what I'm saying? It makes you think that. I ain't gonna say it's fact, but it makes a nigga think. You know what I'm saying? And they basically saying Big U was extorting rappers every time they came to LA. He was extorting rappers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all kinds of, like the DJ Khaled thing, when Khaled went out there in LA and shot the video with Nipsey before Nipsey got there. There was some 60s there that was pressing DJ Khaled. They made Khaled get on the phone with Big U. I mean, they were saying Gilly got extorted by Big U. They were saying, who else? Meek Mill and all these different people was getting extorted by. So we're gonna get into some of these videos as well, man. But what I wanted to get into is the history of the fight that happened between Nipsey and Big U, where they saying Blac Sam basically had to come out and shoot in the air to get Big U up off Nip. So let's go ahead and get into this video real quick. This breaks down the history of that. So make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's continue.
As rapper Nipsey Hussle linked to an officer-involved shooting in South LA. It was published on March 18th, 2011. And basically what the article says is the LAPD are still investigating an officer-involved shooting that took place Friday evening at Crenshaw and Slauson in South Los Angeles. The LAPD had been responding to a fight between Los Angeles-based rapper Ermias Nipsey Hussle Asghedom, 25, and his former manager Eugene Big U Henley. The two were once close business partners when the rapper signed with Cinematic Epic Records in 2007. Plans to release his first studio album, South Central State of Mind, were to follow after his 3 mixtape from the series Bullets Ain't Got No Name were an instant hit on the underground, but that album was never released. This evening, the two men got into a physical altercation near the alley at the rear of the Shell gas station at Crenshaw and Slauson in Hyde Park. According to eyewitnesses, Nipsey's brother, Samuel Asghedom, pulled out a gun to defend his brother and fired into the air to end the conflict. That's when an LAPD officer arrived on the scene and fired at the brother, missing him. According to LAPD Sergeant Ron Lopez, no one was hit and 5 people were taken into custody. Sergeant Lopez told StreetGangs.com that no one has been booked yet, so the names of those 5 individuals have not been released, but we know that Henley, Nipsey, and his brother were taken into custody Friday night and are being held at LAPD's 77th Division. Henley is the executive director.
This person here, Culture Report, actually edited some clips together that we're gonna get into. So please make sure y'all hit that like button. Again, this is the Culture Report channel.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hussle frontline that. And you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
Justice for them. This about someone being mad about the DJ Khaled video has to be Big U. What Blac Sam did, he talked about certain things without talking about certain people. They did the Khaled thing and somebody wasn't happy about it. Oh, shit. We remember Wack and Luce Cannon talking about what Khaled got rolled down on and what it was about and all this shit, right? But those of y'all, Nipsey dissed the shit out of Big U. It's a song out there. We dissed the fuck out of Big U.
Yeah.
Big U got mad, went down there, right? This is when he got set on his pockets, you know, by Fats, rest in peace, right? Went down there. This is when Blac Sam allegedly came out the store firing in the air. I think Blac Sam told his truth. You know, you're doing a puzzle, you're like, I don't really know where these pieces go. So in Blac Sam's interview, okay, these pieces fit here, 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 and there.
Right.
Blac Sam just told his truth, right? Luce Cannon's stance was he got a call saying Nipsey was dead on FaceTime. When he called Nip, he wasn't dead. And then 30 minutes later, he got a call that Nip was dead. That nigga, you knew something, so why you didn't call your quote-unquote little brother and warn him? Hey, homie, where you at? I'm hearing something, get up out of there. That's his whole thing. That was Luce's whole thing.
And from my understanding, old boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene because he know what's going on in that parking lot. And had a conversation, probably seen nobody was in the doorways, checked Hussle had on shorts, checked everybody else, left. They say came back with a red shirt on, tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off, or the Bloods did it, or the Inglewood families did it, or the BPS, that's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. You know what I'm saying? He came there for a reason.
Never met or talked to Blac Sam, but
seems like a pretty stand-up guy.
No, I wouldn't take nothing from me. I'm gonna be real. What I do know, because Big U used to always tell me he didn't like Blac Sam, couldn't stand Blac Sam, right? But he would go down there with him and try to play chess with him to get close to him, get up under him, to try to curb his thoughts, for Nip. Because Blac Sam was totally against a lot of this shit. He was telling his brother, like, yo, I don't trust, this ain't that, this ain't this.
Hustle was getting to the money, but at the same time, he was associating and hanging out. I'm like full time, get the money. Hustle was half and half. And, that other half could get you going for a long time. And you don't want your little bro being a part of, some shit that is destructive. My goal was always, we gotta get this bread and we gotta get the money and we gotta, we need to make sure that we own. Seeing Hustle and me not being able to do anything about it either. Right. It's like, man, it came to a point where Hustle was so deep in and so involved and so much going on around him in the neighborhood, with the politics in the neighborhood. It's like, all right, now, I gotta be there with bro, and I gotta be, and people need to understand, like, yeah, this is his bro, and his bro is here, and, if nobody else is tripping, I'm tripping. Mm-hmm. And Nip had a certain unit, and that was our unit.
This ain't that. I remember him trying to tell me, yo, man, I never seen Blac Sam with a female before. I think he gay. So I asked somebody else from 6-0, one of the reputables I know. He said, Blac Sam got a family woman, all that. He just don't expose him to, social media and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. Did you see the clip when he was live? Okay, and they said justice for Nip? Wait.
Yeah,
And what did he do? He started laughing. Your brain is going to react in the most genuine way, naturally. Justice for Nip. Justice for Nip. You see this shit?
Bitch, wait, what you waiting on, though? You don't know what you waiting on, though, nigga. What you waiting on? You got to tell us what you waiting on. Yeah, my mama, bro, you would have been
justice for Nip.
But your boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it. Everybody that was showing this shit.
You did. You did.
He ain't realizing people screen recording this
The
shit.
other guys are like laughing in the clip too. It's kind of weird.
They with him. No, it ain't. It's Nip. That's what that means. That's what that means. Because that dude is the most vicious, conniving snake I've seen. For him to say all this little brother shit about Nip, and on Paru for me to know what I know, bozo wozo.
Damn.
He's a bozo. And more shit gonna continue to come out.
Oh, so this boy here was basically explaining that, Nipsey, they had like a tape on Nipsey or whatever. I don't know if they was, accusing him of doing some gay things or whatever, but this boy right here was on Vlad explaining. Vlad said he had seen a picture of it, but he didn't say who was in the picture with Nipsey Hussle. So I wanted to get into this real quick.
Vlad tells Brick Baby he has explicit photos of Nipsey Hussle doing something you wouldn't believe.
I was sent a photo of Nipsey engaged in something which I will never put out, right? And that's his personal business.
Yeah.
And based on what Wack is talking, and this is what I mean, like with Wack, a lot of the stuff he says comes out as true, is what I'm saying. I didn't see the video that Wack is talking about, but I do have a photo that someone sent me, and it's definitely it's Nipsey in the photo, and I'm not going to go into any more details.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll show you the photo.
Yeah, I think I have to see the photo now that you spoke on it. Only because of me not being able to prove Wack right or wrong.
So I'm like, was they using that to basically? That's what Wack 100 was kind of explaining, that they was kind of using that footage to keep on extorting Nipsey or whatever. But Nipsey don't seem like he that type of pushover. Like, he's not a pushover, so It's like, yeah, you know, they have him, you know, taken out the way because, you know, he was starting to become, you know, something bigger than, you know, what they thought he wasn't going to become, or he got too big for them, and then they just started, you know, putting things around him where, you know, they was, you know, planning to take him out. I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. But I wanted to get into this real quick. This video here of this dude Luce Cannon basically explaining, you know, in the video that you know, Nipsey Hussle, you know, was FaceTiming with him, or and then he ended up dead. Well, they were saying he was dead, but he really wasn't dead. But then 30 minutes later, they saying he was dead. So I wanted to get into that real quick. Please hit that like button. Let's continue. Put some sound on this.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yep. And
you
we
like
were just talking on regular. So
Regular.
it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
You don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
And
just
30
never knew.
minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So
all
you
on
think
the
he hit
TV
you
show.
a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early because the homie Shitty double back 3 times. You get what I'm saying? And first he shot him, boom, go into the alley, came back and shot him, boom. It wasn't good enough, and then he came back and he shot him again. But now it's like
how did he know?
Yeah, no, but
that's crazy.
It's deep. So it's like I don't know who to trust.
Now let me ask you a question. I heard this. I don't know how true it is. I heard that Shitty and Nipsey had a fight.
Yeah, they had
prior to a couple weeks before that.
They had a fight like a week before that. When they had a fight, you know, Shitty ain't known for fighting.
Yeah, no, not at all.
He known
Not at
for
all. Yeah.
doing the other things. So at the end of the day, it's like Nipsey beat him up. Nipsey is what's like 6'4", 6'5". Shitty is like 5'5", 5'6". You get what I'm saying? Like frails. Like he get high.
So it was already some friction there.
Yeah, it was already friction because of like some police telling shit and.
I mean, I don't know how true that is. I mean, you know, I seen videos of this dude Luce Cannon around, and you know, some of the videos he do look like he be capping a lot. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know, you know, as far as with him telling that story or whatever, if that's true or not. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I ain't putting nothing past no one, but I do want to get into Big U responding to that. You know what I'm saying, on Street TV. He called up on the phone or whatever. Dude got him on the phone, so you know, Big U responded to that. So let's go ahead and get into that. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. Let's continue.
I want the world to know what a Luce Cannon is, all these other weirdos is, and that's, after this is filed, then I'm gonna come at them. But in no way, shape, form, or fashion will I stop a liar until he tells a full lie. Because I want the world to know, just like Hassan Campbell never put out a recording of me when him and Wack was supposed to do it, it's the same way this weirdo don't got no FaceTime of me. For several reasons. One, I ain't had no iPhone then. Two, I didn't do FaceTime like that back then. Three, I was with over 300 niggas when they go to the Gunner concert the day before the day Nipsey got killed. And when Nipsey got killed. And 4th, 5th, 6th, or whatever, I was with Rosé. Me and Rosé was together.
Okay. Man, I don't know, man. I mean, you know, it's just a lot of talk, a lot of chatter going around that, you know, Big U has something to do with Nipsey Hussle death. I mean, being as though this RICO that's happening, I mean, we don't know what's going to come up out of this. I mean, it's possible people might just start telling what they know. They might start telling where the bodies is at. They might start telling y'all where the, you know what I mean, where the rest of the guns and the drugs and you never know what's coming up out of this, man. You know what I mean, but let me fast forward a little bit. So, you know, after, you know, it came out that Big U was wanted by the feds, you know, for the RICO, you know, Wack 100, you know, jumped on, you know, state. I don't know what they be on, whatever app they be on. Uh, you know, talking or whatever. They be doing a lot of chatter on that app, but they basically saying Big U accusing him of working with him and various other people working with the feds. So I wanted to get into this real quick. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video. Let's get it.
Some Mexican. Let me get this right, Big Useless. So let me get this right. So you telling me, you motherfucker, this is 2025. See, here go the problem. You must then take heed and go attorney up. Because your attorney would have told you, come to me, don't say nothing, don't do no videos, and we're going to walk you in if that's what you're going to do. Because what you just did, dummy, is you gave the federal agents all the firepower they need, because now you can't renege on none of this shit. See, your ain't read your superseding indictment paperwork. We just learned about this March 3rd, 2025. Bozo. This investigation started 2021. How do they know? I'm going to tell you how they know. You got a nigga named Bay Sylvester, who I've been knowing probably before you, because he didn't used to fuck with you. Red Mike's brother. Y'all know who this nigga is, right? You done took this. Let me tell you what type of nigga you is. You took a regular dude, a regular civil dude, because you had no more firepower or no more soldiers or flunkies around you. A regular dude, and you intimidated him and made him do things and participate in things that you knew damn well didn't fit. And what he started to do, you know what he did? He turned into Sonny Brasco. You remember how Sonny Brasco's his wife started telling him, you're starting to become them. You're supposed to be undercover. They started to think he was really a rolling 60 Crip. I got the power. Big U ain't gonna like this. I'm the only buffer between Big U and Big U. If I get out the way, this gonna happen. You sending over there to extort for $500 and $1,000. Let me tell you something, you silly, dumb, stupid, nitwit, dick-witted, bozo. You picked up more than 10 occasions we read the federal money given to the victim. You stupid, you pressing, they got a Scarface goddamn camera in the clock, and you sending Vay, a civilian who's supposed to tell on you. Vay ain't no goddamn gang member. I said it, that nigga Vay talk about pop out of football all goddamn day. Got an all white woman, live over there in goddamn Porter Ranch for a wife, and want to come over there, help you with the football. You know what you do? Come with me, cuz. Come with me, cuz. Hey, how you doing? I'm Eugene Henley, developing options. I'm here for the people. I'm here for the community. Kill the kid though, right? You nah, Rayshard Williams, that's who the we need to pray for. You Rayshard Williams was the best friend of Deion Henley, your son that played for the San Diego Chargers. So how he looking at you? Your oldest kid don't even fuck with you. He don't even carry your name because you beat him half to death 6, 7 times. You remember the first time in 04 when the Palms had to come bail you out, help you get out, turn you up? Remember all that type of shit? So let's talk about who we need to pray for. You a motherfucking monster. That's what the fuck you is. You didn't kill no blood. You didn't kill no Hoover. You didn't kill no H-rate gangster. You didn't kill none of that shit. You went and killed one of our own. A young, aspiring motherfucking kid playing football. Y'all look at that face in my PTR. That's the face of Rayshard Williams right there. Look at that face. No mustache. Innocent face. What you do? You say he did a diss song? We never heard it. Leave him in a ditch? You left a in the ditch. Hey, talk to Bay. Sylvester the one told the police. Y'all got the call and y'all drove from there to goddamn Vegas and did what y'all did. D-Say, the fucking now I'ma talk about it. DS is a nigga named D-Say. D-Say is the one that told him that you had him go pull the camera footage down. These is all your people. These power rules. They ain't 100 people. What do you mean? The 100 people ought to be ashamed of yourself. No, it shouldn't be. They should burn down developing options. Crenshaw Coach, all you parents, if any of y'all show up this season with that, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself because that could have been your motherfucking boy in a ditch. Since you want to pop my name, now I'm going to pop it. You could never do nothing better than me. All you could do better than me is be dumber than me. That's all you could be better than me, is dumber than me. Big doofus. You sitting here on my IG talking about what you didn't do, you stupid fucker, and never read your paperwork of everything they got you doing. They got nothing to do with Wack. It seemed to me like I've been threatening the paperwork. Wack ain't said nothing. I don't give a f. What you mean? How did they know? How did they know? How did they know they was gonna raid my house? How did they know? Oh, use the goofy. Let me show you how I knew. You stupid mother. Right now, how I knew. This how the fuck I knew. You weak. How did they know? How did they know? How the fuck you didn't know? I'm gonna show you how the fuck I knew. Here we go.
Okay, well, let me understand something, right? It's been a couple years. What year did your brother killed?
My brother was killed in 22.
So it took them 3 years to do fucking DNA?
They said that Big U was running for a long time, like he didn't want to take the DNA test.
But here goes the thing. Big U's DNA is already on file for when he's paroled. You see what I'm saying? Like my DNA is on file. Like right now, if I did something and I left some blood or saliva and they run into the system, it's gonna match me. When I paroled out the penitentiary, they made me swab. But then again, Big U had a dope case on. He might not have. So that he probably wasn't. He had a dope case, it's conspiracy. So
they found his DNA test in my brother's nails.
Oh.
Okay, so that's bad.
Whoa.
So that means my brother fought.
Yeah, didn't you tell me that your brother's friend said it was something going on, a fight or something?
Something was going on. When I told you that Big U had popped up at my brother's Airbnb.
In Vegas?
Yes. And the best friend was there or whatever, but the best friend said that he didn't want to talk to my brother in front of him, so he pulled my brother upstairs to the side. He said that he knew something was going on because when Big U left and my brother came, when Big U...
Hey, well, man, y'all comment below, man. Tell me what y'all think of this, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel, Night and Day True Crimes. You know, like this video, share this video if you can. We're gonna keep this going, man. We're gonna keep this, this thing going. I had to connect some more dots or whatever. And as this case unfolds, we will be reporting on this channel and the various other trials that's coming up, like the Diddy trial, the Keefe D trial. We will be covering all that on this channel. So make sure y'all subscribe, man. All right. And on that note, I'm up out of here. Peace out.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.